Hello everyone, Max here with Fiction Rant to, first of all, apologize to all. Last time I did a matchup series, I said I would be doing Protoss versus Eldar next. Well, I still plan to do that one at some point, but for now, it scares me. So I'm going to be doing a completely different matchup first. Basically, just the research on it, the information is so scattered and so wildly inconsistent that it's just kind of daunting. So I'm going to do something a little easier first. That is, the Imperial Empire from Star Wars versus the Goa'uld System Lords from Stargate. Also, there's a coffee link in the description if you want to support the channel. Alright, some background. The Imperial Empire spans around half its home galaxy and rules through a combination of nepotism and fear, which it enforces through a massive fleet of Star Destroyers and other ships, and insistence on building superweapons, most notably the Death Stars 1 and 2. Basically, if you don't bend the knee, they have no problem either bombing you into oblivion or just blowing up your whole planet. The Empire is ruled and manipulated by the mighty Emperor Palpatine and his second-in-command and apprentice, Darth Vader. Both men are some of the most powerful Force users in the history of the Star Wars universe and are deadly lightsaber combatants as well. As for the Goa'uld, they're less an empire than a collection of lords, or system lords in this case, who basically follow the lead of whoever happens to be the most powerful at the time. Meanwhile, there's a ton of conniving and backstabbing going on to try to achieve that level of power. The Goa'uld maintain power through the use of stargates, which allow them rapid access to thousands of planets with their armies, and through the use of their fleets of Hatak pyramid ships, among a few other classes, with their squads of death gliders piloted by Jaffa soldiers. Goa'uld themselves are serpentine parasitic beings who can infest anything with a sufficiently sophisticated mental and physical capabilities, controlling them completely and gaining access to all of their memories. They're also extremely long-lived and carry genetic memory, so the knowledge of any given Goa'uld can be so vast, even if their hubris and arrogance impedes their wisdom at times. I'll get into the specifics of each side as this series progresses. This is just part 1 of 8, where I set out some ground rules. First of all, era. For the Empire, the height of their power was immediately prior to the Battle of Endor, the destruction of the second Death Star, and the death of Palpatine and Vader, so that point immediately before everything getting blown up is the point I'll be using for the comparison. This means no Sun Crusher, no legions of Sith warriors, because those are Old Republic era, no clone troopers, because those have been pretty much phased out by the time of the era that we're talking about, but that does mean that they do get a ton of Star Destroyers, legions of normal stormtroopers, and a Death Star. For the Goa'uld, I'm actually going to set the Wayback Machine to prior to the original movie, when Ra was still around, since after his death there was a ton of infighting, and Ra was the head honcho who kept everyone else in line. Basically, him getting blown up by the puny humans just kind of threw the whole system lord hierarchy into disarray. This should help with unity while also avoiding issues of whether or not they get access to things like Anubis's more advanced tech. They don't. Honestly, if I was picking a later period, they probably still wouldn't, because Anubis was kind of just on his own side, not on the side of the Goa'uld. Basically, I'm choosing this time frame because it was the height of their power in the galaxy, though the trade-off is it's not their technological pinnacle, but yeah, again, Anubis wasn't big on sharing anyway. As for my usual matchups, I'll be comparing in 6 categories before giving my conclusions in part 8. The categories, as usual, are speed, weapons, defenses, numbers, unique advantages, and tactics. After going through all these categories, and I have no intention of being exhaustive on any one of them, I'll try to be as representative as I can, since this is not a lore channel, and even going through just everything that the Empire has would have us here all day. I mean, there's so many different TIE variants. I'm going to focus on the main ones. After I get all that done, I will give my final thoughts in the final conclusions section regarding which side wins in a variety of matchup scenarios, because not all of them are equivalent. Those being 1v1 ship, fleet versus fleet, soldier versus soldier, army versus army, and a galactic domination scenario. For galactic domination, I'll actually be coming at it in 2 different ways. One, where each side starts with basically nothing and has to spread across the galaxy, which will be best for representing overall mobility and industrial capacity, basically starting from ground zero, how well can they scale up over the course of years. And then I'll do a second scenario, which is more of a worlds collide kind of a thing, where I just take the respective galaxies and smash them together and see what happens. So everybody has their own territory already, and like the galaxies collide or something, so they are suddenly at war on all fronts. As with all my matchups, this is strictly a matchup between the Empire and the Goa'uld, so neither faction has to simultaneously deal with their rebellion or anything like that while fighting each other. Also, since stargates are kind of a key feature of the Goa'uld, despite them not actually being the ones who made the things, I'm going to assume that all inhabited worlds have stargates, which can be used by both sides. The main limiting factor will be knowing the particular addresses of each world, since just doing the math on the gate symbols available and the fact that you need 7 symbols for local addresses, that makes for 1.95 billion possible addresses. And if you want to go intergalactic, you add an 8th symbol, so that jumps up to 63.6 billion possible combinations. Suffice to say, randomly figuring out the gate address for Coruscant will be basically impossible. And I think that about covers it for the intro. Stay tuned for the next few weeks to catch my summaries and comparisons. Please chime in the comments if I misrepresent or just miss anything important. Again, I have a coffee link in the description, and until next time, live long and prosper, and may the Force be with you.